You are now tuned into a brand new episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K. Sapp. Well, guys, man, Shedeur Sanders, he finally snaps at the media after the day's loss against the Buffaloe Bills, 23-20. And basically, he's saying the media is trying to put people against each other on the team by asking some of the questions that they're asking. But we're going to talk about it right after this. Well, guys, man, the Cleveland Browns, they go down to the Buffalo Bills at home 23-20 in a game which I thought Shedeur Sanders did some great things. Also, he threw 2 picks, both of them off of basically a deflection. The first one, he threw the ball going across the middle to Quinshon Judkins, and Quinshon Judkins, the ball hit his shoulder pad, and the ball bounced up, and they got a pick. And then the next one, it was deflected at the line of scrimmage. But all in all, I think Shedeur Sanders played well. Actually, I think Shedeur Sanders outplayed Josh Allen, one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. He outplayed him. Shedeur Sanders pretty much had a good game today. But the defense, once again, the defense has let the Cleveland Browns down again. And some of the coaching that happened, we're not going to talk about it. But overall, Shedeur Sanders was 20 of 29 for 157 yards, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. He was sacked twice. Actually, I think the first drive of the game for Cleveland, that was their best drive, where Shedeur Sanders marched down. He was 5 of 5 for 58 yards and a touchdown to Harold Fanning Jr. Basically, this offensive line, man, the offensive line needs help. It seems like every time, even though Shedeur Sanders is making completions, he's still getting battered and bruised. He's still getting knocked around. Every time he throws the ball, he's never in the upright position. He's always on the ground. That's how quick that the defensive line is getting in on Shedeur Sanders. The running game really couldn't get started. Once again, Shedeur Sanders led the Cleveland Browns in rushing. He had 4 rushing attempts for 49 yards, averaging 12.3 yards per rush. He led them again. Also, we saw a gruesome injury to Quinshon Judkins on a screen pass where the defender blew his knees out, which, you protect the quarterback, and sometimes you got to protect these, players as well on these low tackles like this. But actually, I said Shedeur Sanders outplayed Josh Allen, because Josh Allen was 12 of 19, 120 yards, no interceptions, no touchdowns. He was sacked 2 times. But all in all, I think Cleveland still had opportunities to win that game if the offensive line could protect Shedeur Sanders on certain play calls that they was calling. Shedeur Sanders just never had time. He was always on the scramble. You saw some plays that Shedeur was scrambling out. He made some big plays with his legs to get first down to extend plays. But all in all, man, the Cleveland Browns football team as a whole, man, they just need a lot of adjustments in a lot of positions. I can't believe that they let James Cook douse them up like that. In the first half, he had over 100 yards rushing and a touchdown. I mean, he was getting big play yards every time he touched the ball. And that's the thing. Cleveland Browns defense let him down. So when the Cleveland Browns defense let him down, that let James Cook just gash him. Like James Cook, he rushed 16 carries, 117 yards, 7 yards a pop, and he had 2 touchdowns. His longest was 44. So it was a couple calls in the game that the coaching made a couple calls on 4th down for him to go for it. And that's what Shedeur Sanders went off and snapped on the media about certain questions that you're asking these guys, that you're trying to put them against each other. And Shedeur Sanders completely snapped. We're going to take a listen to what Shedeur Sanders said, And y'all guys, y'all listen to what he said, because Shedeur Sanders handled this press conference well. Also in the press conference, he did say some things about when he hurt his finger, that he didn't want to put Dylan Gabriel in a bad situation by him coming on the field in the red zone, because, you know, at that time he wasn't prepared. So basically Shedeur Sanders told Dylan Gabriel, my bag. But let's listen to what Shedeur Sanders said when the media will start asking him questions about certain play calls. Take a listen.
Probably just get the ball out a little quicker. That's it. Yeah.
How's it with a mindset on that 4th and 2? Obviously, could have been a punt situation. You guys go for it on 4th down. What was going through your mind at that time?
Q kind of like explained what happened. Like, I just played a lot of plays.
The right decision. Go for it on 4th and 2.
I know you can't be asking me that question, man. Come on, man. We can't see that. That's like the thing. Like, if we want to change the narrative, change the franchise, we want to like help. We got to speak. Like, you can't. Those type of things is like separate us. Like a lot of the players like get these type of questions, and then we want to be working with y'all. We want to be proactive, but like when you ask questions or when questions are asked to us players, and it's like you pinning stuff against each other, it's like, come on now, you know, it's like a thing in the locker room. Like, you know, we're not gonna be able to talk to them for real. We're not gonna be able to give them what they need, like, because that separates the team. That don't help anything. It don't help anything in any situation, no matter how you answer it.
We got time for 3 more. We're gonna get used, and then I don't know who else to ask. Tony and Christian, and we done. We've been here 8 minutes.
Working with your tight end, Harold Fanning.
Yeah.
How's that? It seemed like you had play scripted, and then did the Bills try to take him away later in the game? Because you were very effective with him early on.
Yeah. I think a lot of teams try to attack us in different ways. You know, whether that's exotics, whether that's pressures, whether that's doubling somebody, whether that's something. And now thinking about that 4th and 2. That 4th and 2, you know, that great defense, great everything. So you look at that front side safety, you look at him, and then you got to see where he buzzed down, and everything happened so quick to where if y'all was on the same, that takes time for y'all to be on the same page and know, okay, this is a certain type of route. You know, it's going to develop a little bit, but in certain situations you can speed up and you can get there quicker. You know, so that's about seeing in the same lens. That's about the time on task. That's about a lot of different things, and you can't. Them processes is just something you're just gonna have to be able to grind through, you know?
Well, guys, you heard what Shedeur Sanders had to say, man. He handled that well. Basically telling the media, man, y'all asking questions to try to put us against each other. And that's a lot of things that they don't respect. And that's what Shedeur was saying in the locker room. That's why they don't like talking to certain media personnel, because of that situation. And then in the same sense, in the same token, he was talking about on time and on task he went back to the 4th down and 2 play call. And he thought that, you know, it's the repetitions, you know what I'm saying? You got to be on time. You got to be on target. You got to be on task. And that's how you got to do it. So Shedeur Sanders handled that, you know, post-game press conference well. He did a lot of things that veterans talk about, but Shedeur Sanders basically snapped on the media, and these guys are getting tired of it, man. They're getting tired of these situations where you're trying to ask questions, where you're trying to belittle the coaching staff. And what it is they don't like that. And Shedeur Sanders always addresses it when it comes across like that, because basically he's saying, y'all trying to start trouble. This ain't the first time Shedeur Sanders has put the media on blast and has told the media about their actions and their questions that they're asking. So in this situation, give kudos to Shedeur Sanders for stepping up, not trying to throw nobody under the bus, because that was kind of the question was directed, like, you got to throw somebody under the bus in this situation should they have made that call. So basically, Shedeur Sanders handled that situation well. Guys, get down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. I see everybody in the comment section. #salute. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Turn your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball drops another hot banger. And that's going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.